we're Kenshin1913 along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we going to be making today?
Bread pudding. This is actually Pete's recipe.
Yeah.
I'm just helping.
Yeah, and we're going to show you two different custards. The regular one and a pumpkin one.
Okay, so things that we're going to need is some kind of a bread product. And usually it's something that's been sitting around. It's a little on the hard side.
Yeah.
You can use, this happens to be an Italian bread, but we have made this with old bagels. We've done it with just regular bread. Challah bread is great for it.
Hot dog rolls. We
did it with hot dog rolls. You can do it with a cinnamon bread, cinnamon raisin bread, whatever you like. Just some type of a bread product.
Mm.
Then you're going to use milk,
mm-hmm.
half and half, or cream, because you're going to do 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of the other liquid.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use some sugar, some butter,
mm-hmm.
eggs, our spices, which are nutmeg, ground cinnamon, vanilla. If you like, you can also add some raisins, which we are going to do, but if a lot of people don't like them, you don't have to add them. You could add cranberries, the dried cranberries.
Mm-hmm.
You can add nuts to this, whatever you choose.
Yeah.
We also are adding a little bit of rum.
Brandy is another good one.
Yep, you can add a little bit of brandy, just enough to add a little spark in it.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get some type of a casserole dish. This happens to be just a tin one, and so if it gets ruined in the oven or stuff gets baked on, I just crunch it up and put it in the recycle bin.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bread and then just break it into pieces.
The older, the better. Now, if you're someone like myself, you can break it up a little bigger if you want. This is my recipe. I kind of got it off the internet, but then I jazzed it up to my own version. So, yeah. One of the things about this, if you're like me and you don't like to waste food, and you notice your bread's getting a little old, a little stale, you're gonna want to make some bread pudding. Bread pudding is really easy to make. Now you might be thinking like, oh, gross, bread pudding, but all it is really custard and like bread, really. And so we're just gonna rip up. You want to get 1 layer of bread. We have a lot of it here, so we might actually need to make two portions of custard, but I don't think we're gonna need to. So the origin of bread pudding, at least to my knowledge, to me, I don't know where it came from, but the first time I had bread pudding was at this place called Uncle Willie's, and they had a bourbon bread pudding which was really, really good, and I was like, damn, this is so good, I want to try and make it myself, and then I never ended up getting around to it. And then one day, my brother's kid had a birthday party, and we had these old hot dog rolls lying around, and I was like, damn, who left these rolls around? You know what, let me find out how to make bread pudding. So what I did was I looked it up, I found out how to do it, and I made it with the hot dog rolls, which was very good. I have to admit, for the first time making bread pudding, it was very good. So then I tried it with bagels, old stale bagels that we had, and all different kinds of stuff. Now, if you don't have...
You wouldn't do it with onion bagels or something like that. You know, or an everything bagel. These happen to be French toast bagel.
Yeah, and they were delicious. You might want to break them up into little bigger chunks, but that's alright. We got a lot of bread. Anyways, we're going to show you how to make 2 different custards. One of them is going to be a pumpkin custard, which I've made a pumpkin bread pudding, which came out amazing. And then I made a regular bread pudding, which we're doing here. What else do I want to say? I think that's it. I think we're just going to keep ripping up, and then after this, we'll continue on the next step. Alright, so my mom ripped up about like 5 or 6 pieces of bread here. If you happen to not have enough bread, always use a smaller casserole dish. So now my mom is going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, and she's going to melt it. You can do it in the microwave if you like. And what is that, 30 seconds? So we're gonna melt the butter and pour it over the bread. So with the raisins, Mom, you don't have to use them, but if you do plan on using them and you use it, and you don't like how crunchy they are, like, you know, sometimes people don't like the texture of raisins. What we're doing is we're actually soaking our raisins for, I'd say that it's already been about a half hour since I put the water in with the raisins. I'm just letting them get a little moist so that
they rehydrate.
yeah, so they can rehydrate. Now you can also, you know, melt your butter in and just kind of pour it over
on the stove top.
Yeah, but we decided to do it the easy way. So you gotta pour your butter over your bread. Hell, if you want, you could use more than 2 tablespoons. I think 2 tablespoons is enough. You just kind of want to get everything like a little bit, you know, delicious. The butter makes damn near everything better. Now, what I like to do is, if you didn't get all the butter out of there, I like to take some of the bread, and yeah, there you go. Just rub it in, and get that butter, because it, you know, every last drop. You know what I mean? Down to the last drop.
Okay, so I'm gonna add my 3/4
of a cup of sugar.
And remember, we're using 2 different measuring cups. Dry one, liquid. We're gonna add our eggs.
4 eggs. Oh yeah, if I haven't mentioned yet, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So this is a basic custard, I guess. Eggs, sugar, and milk. I'm assuming that's a basic custard. I could be wrong.
It is.
And then now bread pudding. That probably, I should have done some research before we started this episode, but I want to say it comes from England.
It might, and I think you were absolutely right before. It's just you know, using everything that you have in the house. Don't let anything go to waste.
Yeah.
So if you had some really hard bread, you can make it into another something else. It happens to be more of a sweet dessert.
Yeah.
Than
you can do this for breakfast or for dessert.
So here you whisk our sugar and our eggs.
You're actually doing it a different way than I'll do it.
Okay.
I usually put the liquids in and then the sugar and all that.
Now we're going to add our vanilla.
We do 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I guess if you had vanilla bean or whatever, you could do that too.
And I always use pure vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You can always add even a little bit more if you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that around. We're going to add
1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. And, Alright, I had to clean the lens off. I don't know what the hell got on it. Alright, so my mom, she mixed in the cinnamon. And that was, again, 1 tablespoon. So now we're going to add our nutmeg, which is a pinch, because you always add just a pinch of nutmeg and any kind of custard. It really brings out the flavor of everything, all the various ingredients. Now we got to add ourselves the 1 cup of milk. You can use whole milk if you want. We're using 1%. As you can see, my mom's filling it there. And yeah, we're going to use 1 cup of half and half as well. Now the thing is, if you want, you can do 2 cups of milk. Forget about the half and half. But I'm not gonna, because I like to step it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Give it that extra boost of deliciousness. So now she's gonna add 1 cup of half and half.
Or you can even add
whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Which will make it even more decadent. And then you just mix that all together. And what I like to do now, not this again, another optional thing you can do is add a tablespoon of rum. Did you have the rum yet?
I did not.
And we're using Captain Morgan. Not to you know, product placement here, but this is the rum of this is our choice of rum. And then what I like to do is, once you mix this up, right? I like to add a little. Now again, once again, this is optional. You might not have this. I use some cinnamon essence.
And cinnamon essence is coarse sugar and little bits of actual cinnamon stick.
Yeah.
And it's in a grinder, and
we're just going to grind some in there.
it has a little top layer of cinnamon.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It definitely is might be a little more aromatic than it is actually than actual flavor, because we already have that cinnamon and everything. So let's pour that over here.
Okay, we drained our raisins.
Yeah, we let them sit for about a half hour. Oh, look at you. You're putting them right in there.
Yeah.
Look at this. You're putting a spin on my recipe here. Usually I just put them right on the bread and then pour everything in. Good idea, I guess. Alright, so what we're going to do is take our custard and pour it over our bread. Our bread with the sweet, sweet butter already in it. Make sure to even distribute it. And what you want to do is just pour it all in. And what you want to do is like, let's say some of the bread doesn't get on the excuse me, if some of the bread doesn't get on the or the mixture get on the bread, you get out a fork and you just mush it down. And you get everything incorporated. And don't worry if it looks like you have too much liquid.
Yeah, because this is going to dry up.
This is going to dry up into the bread. It's going to be friggin' delicious.
Yeah, the bread is going to soak all of this
up. Some stuff that you might want to do when it gets out of the oven, you can make a nice thing of warm milk. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the food instead of the decon. Anyways, you warm up some milk and you pour it over this, or you get a nice bit of ice cream and you put it on top. This can be for dessert or breakfast. Is that good?
Yeah, it's if you're doing it for dessert and you when it comes out of the oven and it's nice and hot, putting that ice cream or even whipped cream, a dollop of that on top of your portion.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw it in an oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. And then we're going to show you how to at least make the pumpkin pie custard. Alright, while our original bread pudding is in the oven, we're going to show you how to make our pumpkin pie custard. A couple of extra things you might want to do here. I'll put both ingredients in the video description. But what you're going to want to do here, a couple of extra ingredients, is you're going to want 4 ounces, which is half a can of pumpkin puree. Not pumpkin, not a ground up pumpkin pie or whatever that pumpkin pie mix, right?
It's just regular pumpkin.
Yeah. So what you're gonna want to do is whisk this up. I don't know if we mentioned we used a whisk before. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a spoon.
Let me just get the sugar.
We need 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and also you'll need pumpkin pie spice right here. Any kind of pumpkin pie spice. You just need 1 tablespoon of that as well. Try to make most of the ingredients, you want to make them equal. So, so one day we had some extra pumpkin pie mix, or pumpkin pie puree left over, and I said, what the hell, let me try pumpkin, because I was getting pretty good at making bread pudding, so I was like, let me try doing a pumpkin pie bread pudding, or a pumpkin bread pudding, and it actually came out very, very good.
So we have our sugar, our eggs, our vanilla.
It's almost the same thing, except we're just adding 2 extra ingredients. So now we're going to add the pumpkin. This is going to be 4 ounces
of pureed
pumpkin. The whole thing. Because we used half a can, and we made pumpkin pie cheesecakes, which were delicious. Maybe one day we'll show how to do that.
Yeah, mini cheesecakes.
Mini cheesecakes.
Really, really easy.
Really, really good.
Don't spoil your diet.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the great flavor.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to whisk this in until it gets kind of incorporated. It'll take a moment or two. You can use a blender, I guess.
You could.
Yeah. And you just want to get that all mixed in.
There it is.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put our pumpkin pie spice in.
Mm-hmm.
Another take on bread pudding, you can do an apple one where you could actually add some applesauce.
Let's just go in there, yeah.
And you can...
Don't worry about even if you put a little extra, that's alright, because the pumpkin pie spice is amazing.
So you could do a little bit with applesauce and then add small diced pieces of apple to it. That would be great.
Yeah, that sounds good. I might try that next time. Yeah, it's just really awesome that I found a recipe and that you as well can also make yourself bread pudding.
And it's so versatile.
Yeah,
you know what I'm just thinking of too. One, you can do cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Either the jelly or the one with the whole berries in it. Put that in here. Oh my God, that would be absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
You could do cranberries and apple.
Yeah.
Oh, the list is
the possibilities are endless.
Endless.
So now we gotta add
our milk.
Our milk. Did you add the cinnamon and nutmeg yet?
I did not. Excuse me.
And rum. We're gonna be adding rum again. So now we got 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, even though there's cinnamon and nutmeg are both in the pumpkin pie spice, we add extra.
A dash
of nutmeg. A tablespoon of rum. You could do brandy. You don't even have to put rum in if you don't want to. I do it because I like the little kick that it gives.
And we're not real drinkers around here. So.
No. And I thought to myself, because my brother, he loves Captain Morgan's private stock. And he's not living with us anymore, and we have to use it up eventually, so... I said, what the hell, let's try it in there. It's very good if you ever... I've only had one... I've never had a rum and coke, but I hear they're very good.
I wish you could smell a vision here.
Yeah, so now she's adding the 1 cup of milk. And the 1 cup of half and half. Now let me tell you what we ended up doing with our raisins. Now the raisins that we put in, the original custard was regular white raisins and California white raisins. So what I did for the pumpkin pie one, to jazz it up the raisins a little bit, I let them soak in water, 2 parts water, 1 part rum. So they got a hint of rum to them. And they really, really juiced up from where they were at before. Man, because when you get raisins, sometimes they're really, really dry. And a lot of people don't like raisins just because when you eat them, it's like you're eating little, like, I don't know, pebbles or something. And people do not like that. So what we're going to do, this is how you make, that's
the
it.
second custard, we're done.
Yeah, so you would pour that over your buttered bread, just like you would a regular custard. Throw in the oven for 350 degrees for 45 minutes. And you know what? We'll probably show you what they both look like when they come out. Alright, here is our regular bread pudding. 45 minutes afterwards. Looks delicious. When you push down, you want to have it some give. And here is our pumpkin bread pudding. When you push down, it should have some give to it. So yeah, let's plate it up and eat it.
Okay, here we are with the 2 different ones, and it's very warm. So this is the first one that we made, the plain, and this one here is with the pumpkin puree.
So let's give it a try. I'll try the regular.
And I'll try the pumpkin.
Yeah. It's gonna be very hot. We're not putting ice cream or milk on it. We're just doing it plain Jane.
And I was gonna put some whipped cream. good.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And you can see it's moist now.
Mm-hmm.
See how the bread is moist? The
Well,
top one's a little crispy.
Yeah. That's the best part. Is it when you get that nice consistency of crispy and crunchy together. If you get the right bread, you can do a good job of that. My mom had a suggestion you can do. You can put a little brown sugar on top, like about like the last 5-10 minutes of cooking, if you want to do that. Anyways, the raisins aren't too bad actually. They're very plump as well.
And you can't taste the liquor in it.
Yeah, you really can. So yeah, this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913. If you want to purchase your own Cooking with Kenshin1913 apron, the link is in the video description below. So this has been the episode. I hope you enjoyed. So
enjoy and happy eating.
Take it easy.